the first business-related question. The future vision. What should an owner be thinking about if I'm exiting the company? What should I really be thinking about when it comes to the future vision of the company?
Well, as the owner leads, right, they need to be thinking, one is, in the question of, have I set this up for the future generations, right? Have I looked at making this company sustainable so that the future generations can walk in and take it on? The big things to look at are, and really kind of, certainly in this order, is people first, process second, and technology is that thing that puts all of that together. You need to look really at succession planning. Have you set up a culture in the company? Have you been able to maintain a culture in the company that is what you want it to be, right? Not just what it ended up being, but is it what you want it to be? And have you hired those people that live and breathe and speak that culture? Are these people that have the same vision that you do? If you surrounded yourself with those types of people, those people will then continue on with that. They will take that. They will continue to refine the process, right? They will continue to improve the process, and they will wrap all of that up into continuing to increase the company's good reputation. They will continue to hire others that fit in that same culture, again, that will kind of live and breathe that same talk. But a lot of it is making sure that, organizationally speaking, right, that you've looked at the company, you've looked at the people that are there, you've looked at the future growth. That is, we do it all the time. We look at where's the company today, where is the vision for that company in size or geography or market sectors? Is there a 2 times growth org chart? Have we looked at that 2 times size org chart, and what does that look like in promotion or development? What kind of training do people need to move up into that? Is this a good recruiting opportunity to show people that we have growth coming up? You're looking at that sort of future vision of the company. You will then make sure that you have got those leaders in place to continue on with that vision. So transparency, I think, is huge. Everyone in the company needs to be on the same page. And if you're not telling everyone what it is that you want to do, things are never going to go that way, right? It has to be openly communicative. It has to be very transparent where you're going. It has to have a strong team of leaders all headed in the same direction. The whole company really needs to understand the why. Why are we in business? Why do we want to continue down this road? And why should people work for us? So that owner really needs to be sure that everyone is impressed or has the impression, the same feel, the same love, the same vision as they do. And that will help in the future to keep that vision moving forward in the company. So it's a lot of communication, it's a lot of transparency, and again, it all sits with the people.
I think the thing that we see a lot of times with the future vision is the owner, the outgoing owner, almost puts too much pressure on themselves to, instead of setting a broad vision and direction and some culture and values, they put almost too much pressure on themselves to think that they've got to map out the next 20 years to go ensure that the next generation coming in is totally successful. And approach that we take is really working with that next generation, starting to work with them early getting them to think about what the future vision for that company really is. And sometimes that's different. It may be that next generation sees some different markets and some market opportunities that, going, as you're going from A to B and you're going up these different legs of the mountain and the climb, you just have a different perspective on what that future looks like and what the landscape looks like. So it's important to heavily involve that next layer of the management team in that. And that's probably the biggest problem we see is just owners putting almost too much burden on themselves, and it's an unrealistic burden to think that you're going to map everything out and then the next generation is just going to execute for the next 20 years. So do you see that as well, Sue?
Yeah, I do. Rather than, again, getting everybody to get their head up off the desk and to look forward, that's right. They want to get many times back to the tactical of, okay, here's how you're going to get into the next 20 years. These are the steps absolutely you need to take, right? And it's funny, many owners do want to prescribe what needs to happen, even though that is nothing they did when they started the company, right? They were very much about, this is our vision, and we're going to look at it at a broader view and kind of take things as they come and be nimble and need to change and be flexible. Sometimes that flexibility with an owner leaving tends to get very narrow. So you're right. I've seen it a lot where they want to leave a bit more of a very specific step-by-step as opposed to the larger, inspired, futuristic vision.
The trivia that I always bring up when we're talking about this is that there's that fashion brand holding company, LVMH, that has Louis Vuitton and a dozen other high fashion brands, multi-billion-dollar company, very, very successful. So what a lot of people don't know about that is that was actually created out of a construction company by the vision of Bernard I can't say his last name, Arnault. I can't roll my L's or my R's. I'm very much an English speaker. But anyways, it was a family construction business, and that's what he saw as the future vision was that diversification. So it's very important to go support that vision. Worked out very good for the family and everything like that. They don't still do construction, so that saddens me. But it's an interesting perspective of how different things can go end up than how they started. So next question, which is very near and dear to your heart and something I hear you talking about constantly, and I always hear your voice in my ear, talking about this, and even reminding me of what I'm missing